Hello, this is the weather hazard briefing for Monday, June 28th. So we've got quite a bit of warmer weather coming in for this week. Strong high pressure will be building in from the Pacific Northwest, and very warm temperatures still likely this week, although it does look like the temperatures may not be quite as hot as perhaps we were thinking a few days ago, but still very warm. Still very warm across much of the area, and looking at a potential for thunderstorms now starting on Wednesday. So here's the current satellite image, and you see this big block of high pressure pretty much over Washington State. And last week we were expecting this big area of high pressure to pretty much settle in right over eastern Idaho, and that's where right directly under this high is where the really intense heat is. Now it's looking like that high might shift a little bit more to the northeast and just kind of skirt through us, and we're just going to be kind of on the edge of all that hot air. So looking at the weather impacts outlook, minor impacts from heat today. Starting to see a little bit more impacts beginning in the Magic Valley tomorrow, and looks like probably the Magic Valley will see the big brunt of the heat through Thursday at least. Elsewhere, mainly moderate to minor impacts from heat, and also looking at some isolated thunderstorms around much of the area as well. So just looking at our high temperature forecast for today, you see many areas in the approaching the upper 80s and low 90s. Looking at humidity values for today, generally humidity is not too terribly bad. Just are seeing some of those drier humidities out across the Arco Desert and up into the central Idaho mountains. And looking at wind speeds today, as a whole, not looking too terribly bad. Winds generally out of the northeast, a lot less windy than what we saw yesterday. Just looking at our high temperature forecast for Tuesday, and you see the temperatures starting to ratchet up a little bit more. Low to mid 90s across much of the Snake Plain, and then mid to upper 90s across the Magic Valley there. And then you're also seeing the humidities with the warm air drying out quite a bit, mainly in the teens across much of the area. Still carrying a little bit of a light easterly wind component on Tuesday. Looking at our high temperature forecast for Wednesday, generally about the same as what we see for Tuesday. Generally mid 90s across the Snake Plain and much of East Idaho, mid to upper 90s across the Magic Valley. And humidity is still rather dry. Starting to get a little bit of moisture working in here, and that's where we could see some isolated thunderstorms start developing, mainly across the higher terrain. And then Thursday, temperatures generally once again in the mid to upper 90s across the Snake Plain and Magic Valley, generally sitting at around 90 or so in the high country. And then as we go into Friday, temperatures still generally looking to be in the mid to upper 90s across much of the area as well. So that concludes today's briefing. And it's just to wrap things up, still looking at that high pressure continuing in from the northwest, excessive heat this week, and a potential for thunderstorms starting on Wednesday. And that concludes the briefing, and if you have any questions or comments, please let us know on by one of these methods down here at the bottom. Thank you. Bye-bye.